I was out of the Valorant space for less than 24 hours. And in those 24 hours, there has just been a seismic change in the way Brazilian Valorant is at this moment. My goodness, Saadhak leaving Loud has to be one of the most insane moves I've ever seen. For the longest time, he was Loud Valorant. Through every roster change, he was the foundation of that org. And even last year, he felt like he was working magic by getting Kawan and Tuiz, and just the way that team shaped the meta to what they wanted it to be. And everybody else was just following behind them. Obviously, ASPAS and Les have a lot to do with that too, but man, it did feel like Saadhak could just not be on a losing roster. And this even predates Loud. You could tell by Pancada y Amigos, you could tell it by Vikings. I mean, yeah, Vikings, didn't do as good as Loud, but that team still made it to champions. Saadhak, while not being Brazilian himself, has definitely made his way into the fans' hearts, especially in Brazil. And I think even here in the United States. I know I'm making it sound like he's retiring, which he already said he isn't, but man, it just feels like that team started out in an insane manner. Again, like being from Team Vikings, and even though they struggle in international states, like him and Saucy decided that they wanted to start their own thing, and giving us the classics against Optic, destroying the entire Brazilian scene, the champions win, and again, the way that they took 2022 and pretty much made it theirs, aside from unfortunately not winning a title. But dude, the journey was incredible. I think it's safe to say that the era of 2022 is very much long gone, and what a time it was. You can even just look at other rosters that are making moves right now, like NRG. Like basically, like it's just FNS there. Like there's no other like Optic member there anymore. Crashes and Victor are doing their own thing. I think they're gonna do it separately. I'm not sure. And I mean Yay is Yay. And ASPAS is Leviathan. Navi is like completely a free agent team at this moment, and we all saw how that worked out. So yeah, that 2022 era is gone, and man, that was such a good time. Se o Saadhak tá mirando meu vídeo, eu quero dar obrigado, porque sem você e os moleques no Loud, o Valorant não ia ser o mesmo. Não sei de onde você vai ir, pero eu tenho muita certeza que esse time vai ter o melhor IGL nas Américas. Talvez no mundo. Descanse em paz o melhor equipe do Brasil, a Loud. Pero eu sei que o Saadhak, donde ele vai, todo va a ser mejor. Así que muchas gracias, Saadhak.
Salve, rapaziada. O Saadhak aqui. Notícias, né? Notícias. Vocês já sabem que eu estou fora da Loud, né? Realmente foi uma decisão muito difícil de ser tomada. Eu queria falar um pouco de como foram esses anos, né? Aqui, que realmente é uma parte muito importante da minha vida profissional, minha vida pessoal também. É incrível tudo que eu atingi na Verducha, né? Na Loud. Ganhamos uma Champions, ganhamos Américas, melhor time do mundo. Conheci pessoas incríveis, conheci funcionários incríveis dentro da Loud, conheci teammates incríveis. Realmente sei que para alguns vai ser uma surpresa, para outros não, mas realmente foi uma decisão que eu já venha pensando há um tempo. A Loud estava consciente disso também, e eles me ajudaram em todo esse processo que é sair, né, da saída, das negociações e tudo isso.
Loud has been the pillar of Brazilian Valorant for years. Since its inception in 2022, they have dominated the Brazilian region, the Americas region, and the international stage. Less, Radiant 1 player turned into VCT's craziest movement demon. Saucy, the best initiator to come from Brazil. Pancada, a top smokes player in the world. Saadhak, a player who is widely regarded as one of the best in-game leaders of all time. And ASPAS, the undisputed best duelist player in the Americas. This is the story of the rise and fall of Brazil's greatest roster, Loud.
Ele tá no Yellowtop, mas ele segura! Que isso? Aonde que parece impossível, mas ele come, ele vem pra cima! Minha nossa! Vem ali a chegada, pegou o primeiro, leva mais um! 4K pra ele!
Back in 2021, Loud wasn't even an esports org in Valorant. The professional scene was in its early stages, as most regions were separated by their servers. LATAM, Brazil, and North America were all separate leagues. Les was bouncing between several teams, from Dogs, Quincalos da Galáxia, Jaguar Esports, Galaxy Carex, Tropina do TikTok, and was a #1 Radiant in Brazilian leaderboards. Saucy jumped games from League of Legends to Valorant and played on a free agent team, then landing on Vikings with Saadhak. Pancada was playing with Star Horizons and Foguetes, finding some mild success winning Copa Ranking Season 3 and GG Well Played 1. ASPAS and Les would have played each other in the Champions Brazil Stage 3 in the match between Jaguar Esports and Slick. Team Vikings and Star Horizons wouldn't even meet each other despite being in the same bracket and would both lose 2-0 to Liberty. They would meet each other in the lower finals where Team Vikings would beat them 2-0. Vikings would lose to Vivo Keatstars later that tournament. Vikings would qualify as the final seed for Brazil at Champions 2021. They would beat Crazy Raccoon but struggle against Gambit and eventually ended up losing to Team Secret. Saucy and Saadhak, frustrated with the results, decided to leave Team Vikings and asked Pancada to join their team, but he would have to play with Les and ASPAS, who at that time were perceived as wildcards. After denying another lucrative offer, Pancada joined the team. On January 14, 2022, Pancada y Amigos would be formed, and they would play in VCT Brazil Series 1, where they would drop only one map in 7 matches. The team would even destroy Pancada's former team, Star Horizons. It was safe to say that the team had worked out beautifully, and while they dominated the open qualifiers, there was an organization that took notice of all their efforts.